What's up, everybody? Let me know if you can hear my voice and see my screen, please. Got Erez, Chris, Alex, Joe, and Ahmed on. J Toro says good to go. Joe says check. All right, all right, all right. Joe says if anyone is doing citations and social links for clients themselves, which email do you use to set up all those accounts? For social media accounts, one email is associated with one account. So do you just use that client's email? In a perfect world, they would all be able to get you an at their domain email, but that's always not possible. So I set up a Gmail or something similar for each client and use that for as much as I possibly can for that sort of thing. And that way I can turn that over to them when the relationship ends. Glenn just joined. VJ, hey, what's up, VJ? And Loisel just joined. Alex says, yo, nice banners in the background. Thank you very much. Michael Parker from the group, who is going to hook me up with Gina Carano because they're good friends, made those for me, and they look fantastic. Also, a member of my team kind of made that arrangement for us. So I'm very happy. It kind of spices things up a little bit. Joe says, excellent, thank you. We've got Craig, James, and Saeed on. I don't think I had any questions beforehand, so if you got any questions, now is the time. It doesn't have to be on SEO or business or anything else. Although I would love it if somebody will ask me why this is the last time I'll ever be using BeLive TV. Chris Brown just joined. What's up, Chris? Haven't seen you in a while. Vivek has a question above. All right, did I miss one? Can you help me out, please? How to change keywords on Google Search Console? How to change keywords? I'm not sure what you mean. You mean like what they're tracking, or? I'm sorry, I don't understand the question. If you mean what they're tracking, I don't know that you can. It seems like they pull that stuff randomly and it's not very accurate, but I have a feeling that's not what you meant. So if you can clarify, I'd appreciate it. Why is the last time you will be using TV to stream? Well, I went in to set it up today. And for those that don't know, that's the software that allows me to put my logo and the crawler on the screen and things like that. And I went in today to set it up, and I lost a bunch of functionality, and I have that stupid BeLive logo on my screen. And I asked them why apparently my subscription had expired, which makes no sense because I've had it for a long time. Well, I send their support a message, and they say, well, unfortunately, you were on an annual plan. I was like, but I was paying monthly. They said, yeah, but it's an annual plan that you pay monthly. I was like, all right, I'll just sign back up. But they've like tripled their price since then, and this is just absolutely not worth it. And I didn't appreciate the way they went about it either. So, and their support has not been that great in the past. So I'm going to switch to something that I got from Frank Kern called StreamYard. So we'll see how that goes. If not, I'll just do it through Livecast or Wirecast. So that's why they don't get any more money from me. Iret says, I have 1,000 questions and I'm sitting here in front of you right now like, I've been through that before too. So let's see. Alex says, what is the best fact schema plugin for WordPress? I don't know. There's one that Jeff uses. I can't think of the name of it, though. I'll see if I can't get in touch with him and get back to you. Mike just joined. What's up, Mike? Chris says, what do you think about folks who are making SEO out to be like rocket science, i.e. turning it into SEO math? I don't know why, but SEO seems to really attract people that like to really like dig deep and analyze. It really attracts that engineer type personality. And that's just, I don't know. That just seems, those people seem to be drawn to it. And they get in their own way when they do that, you know? It really isn't that hard. I mean, it is and it isn't. Like, I'm not going to say it's like super simple, but it's definitely nowhere near as hard and like has all this secret information that people think it does and things like that. It's really just, you know, it's basically about brand, reputation, content, and links. So what's your tactics for featured snippet? I don't have a ton of experience with it, but basically I find that if I put a question in an H2 and immediately answer that question under it, and if I have a well-ranking page, that's the main ones that I've gotten to show up have been that way. Honestly, I need to get better at that though. I focused on organic for so long that I haven't put a lot of focus into that when I probably should. There's also that hack that Neil Patel and Matthew Woodward put out a few months ago on the same day as cheap content, but I think that they're going to abuse that and ruin it. So Patrick just joined. What's up, Patrick? So we got a question in the other group. That was something else. How annoying is this Be Live thing in the corner underneath my logo? George is getting upset. Definitely if you, nah, never mind. I was going to say something else, but that's enough negativity for one stream. Let's refresh. How do you, Jessica says, do you believe in incentive ideas to get your clients to leave good reviews? Technically, that's definitely against the terms of service on a lot of sites, and it may even be illegal. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not a lawyer, but I don't know. Just do a good job and ask them. I try not to really incentivize them because I don't know. To me, it feels like going on a date and asking for a kiss instead of just, just earning it. So that's kind of my answer to that. J Toro says, do you ever point Web 2.0 directly to your money site? Yes. However, not in the way that I don't want to say that you probably mean, but a lot of people do. What I just do is part of creating a good reputation for your site is to create a good brand. And part of that, when I do that, is Web 2.0. So mybrandname.weebly.com, mybrandname.tumblr.com, and so on. So yes, those link directly to my money site when I do those. However, I don't do that thing where you create like 40 Tumblrs and things like that and point those all to my money site. I haven't had good luck with that, and I'd rather save the powerful links for that, Irez says, I work with mostly local businesses and been signing up people up to Alignable. What do you think about the service, and is the link worth much? I mean, it's a decent site. There's no reason not to do it. I wouldn't pay them at all, but I mean, it's kind of like a LinkedIn for local businesses. It didn't really catch on like I thought it would, but it's still a good link. It's a citation, and there are businesses on there, so you may as well sign up for it. But I wouldn't pay, I don't even know what like their page structure is, but I wouldn't pay them. Sukanta is just joined. I apologize if I butchered that or any other name throughout the entire course of the stream. Chris says, PBN. What are your thoughts on those now? Just good old-fashioned sites or unexpired domains? I mean, yeah, it hasn't changed all that much. I don't get where it seems like I'm getting a lot more questions about them lately. There must be somebody out there saying not to use them or something, but they still work. A PBN is just a link, but it's been created in a way it's designed just to influence SEO, which technically Google doesn't like, but as long as links work, PBNs will work as long as you do them correctly. Make them look like a real site. Don't use spun content. Design them nicely, things like that. Sean and Ahmed just joined. Joe said, is it bad to do things a bit out of order, such as citations before social links or PBNs before social links? And is it best to wait a month in between doing these things? Everybody has a different opinion. I don't have any particular order for things like social profiles and citations. I consider that part of building the brand, and that's the first thing I do. And then after that, I do things like if I do them, I do a press release. PBNs, guest posts, and niche edits are the last thing I do, but I wouldn't necessarily say it's bad to do them out of order. I just like to have the brand created with the social profiles, social profiles, citations, Web 2.0s, and various other types of links beforehand, because that creates a bunch of URL anchors. And then you can use the Ironically, I just got a message about PBNs. Then you can use the PBNs, guest posts, and niche edits for the exact anchors where the real power is. Alexei just joined. Jake Toro says, thanks. Thank you. Stavros just joined. David just joined. Pintu just joined. Lots of people today. I'm surprised. I guess summer is over now. So that makes me a little sad because I live in a tourist town. So it basically turns into a ghost town after Labor Day. But, you know, it's not that tough of a life. One moment. Bruno just joined. What's up, Bruno? Max says affiliate program for Academy. Yes, just jump over to superstarseo.com/affiliate sign up. I'll put that as a reply to you. I don't really push it that much because I don't know. I just don't. I guess I should. Mike just joined. What's up, Bruno? How's it going, buddy? Jay Toro says, are PBNs the most effective? Also, how good are press releases and why should you do that? I don't know. In some ways, PBNs are because you can manufacture the relevance and you get more power, I feel like, because they are a new post on a powerful site. That said, you don't tend to get as much relevance as you do with other types of links. So, and they tend to be more expensive to buy and maintain. So it just depends. As for press releases, I like to do one or maybe two as part of a long campaign, but usually just one, just for some link diversity and because clients think they're pretty. That's kind of the main thing I use them for. Kirill just joined. Kirill is here. Pedro just joined. What's up, Pedro? Max says, nice affiliate program. Awesome. Thank you very much. I really should push that more. It's just, you know, there's only so many hours in the day. Speaking of like branding and reputation and stuff, I'm going to be doing a webinar on Tuesday with Stephen Floyd. Many of you know him from OMG and other places in the SEO community. Kirill's asking about exactly what I'm talking about right now. And he is, it's going to be awesome. He's going to show you how he's using reputation to influence his rankings. So definitely check that out at chrisandwalker.io/reputation. It's absolutely worth attending. It's going to be some great training. And I'm kind of flattered to work with him. So that kind of answered Kirill. Jessica says, who are your mentors in business/SEO? Well, SEO, I mean, I've kind of cut my own path to some degree. But if there was one person that I learned that my strategy definitely like branches off from, I guess would be the way to say it, would definitely be Stephen Floyd. That's why I'm pumped to be doing the webinar with him on Tuesday that you can check out at chrisandwalker.io/reputation. But yeah, as far as SEO, that's where I learned most of my strategy. For business, definitely Alex Becker. You know, I know people have various opinions on him, but if I hadn't stumbled onto him in 2014, I would definitely not be doing what I'm doing. And I've gotten to know him and be his friend a little bit. And I've really, really learned a lot. I was in his mastermind for about a year. So those are probably the main two. Yeah, probably those two. For SEO is definitely Stephen Floyd. And for business in general is probably Alex Becker. And then, of course, there's people like Jeff Bezos and stuff, but they're not really mentors. What affiliate program? Talk about it. Oh, he's talking about the affiliate program for our SEO course, Superstar SEO Academy. Basically, it's a 50% recurring commissions on anybody you send to it. And then I have some other courses in there as well. I don't push it that much because I don't, you know. But yeah, that's kind of it. Superstarseo.com. I'll just drop it here. Somebody let me know if I'm still live because my screen froze. We still good? Okay, well, I'm going to assume they are until somebody tells me different. Joe says, when setting up just the domain for PBN, can it be registered anywhere? And I'm guessing you should be set for domain privacy. Yeah, you can register it anywhere. I don't like, what is it? I'm drawing a blank. It's one of the big ones. It's not GoDaddy or Namecheap. I don't like them. But GoDaddy or Namecheap are fine. I don't like this other one that I can't think of the name of at the moment. It's the other big one, though. But yeah, and definitely use domain privacy, yes. Chris says, one thing that I will say is that the things taught by you, Gregory Ortiz, Becker, Cotton, etc. a few years back was actually ahead of the things Neil Patel covered. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. I don't like to talk about other people. Joe says, yep, live. Ahmed says, all good, you're live. Darren says, yes, you're still live. I will survive. That's the last time I sing, I promise. That wasn't in anyone's best interest. Host 9. No, it's not host 9. It'll come to me. Part of my drinking. I'm not drinking. I'm drinking water. A little parched today. One moment. Just got to answer a quick question here. I know this isn't super exciting. All right. Sorry about that. All right. Host 9. Carlos says, what's up? What's up, Carlos? Erez just joined again. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, now is your chance. Or this can be a short one. And definitely sign up for that webinar with Stephen Floyd. He's got some cool stuff that I saw that he showed me that he's going to show you guys that I think you'll really appreciate. It's something I've added to. I talked about it in a group a few weeks ago, and I had something I've been doing for my clients in the time hence, and I got him to come on and show it to you guys. So, and to be perfectly straight with you, there's going to be something to buy at the end, but it's still good training regardless. So definitely sign up. It's Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern. Jitoro says, when building for organic search, what tactics work the best? When building, the main things to focus on are brand and reputation. So building out a site that Google trusts with, your reputation, your social profiles, your citations, Web 2.0s, and reviews, and things like that. That's the most important thing. And then from there, you get into your on-page, which I would think is like 1A, more, and then you can get into links. For whatever reason people want to start with links and go the other direction, maybe because it's easier, I don't really know. But if you build out all that stuff first, then you can get to links, and the links you'll have to do a lot less of, and they'll be a lot more effective. Jessica says, what do you think about companies online who claim to be able to completely remove any negative reviews? Do they really work? I don't know. My approach to getting bad reviews not affecting the business anymore is to bury them with good reviews. I don't know. I would imagine that there's probably some marketing hype to that, but I would imagine they also have things that they can do. So I haven't used one. I don't know, but I would think that there's definitely a market for that if they can do it well. I don't know. It also seems like there's a possibility that could be shady. I don't know, though. I don't have the answer to that. Irad says, okay, dumb question, just to rule things out. If I no follow a parent page using Yoast SEO tool, the subpages will still be okay and adhere to their follow settings correct. Yes, that is correct. You're only setting that for that particular page. Now, when something hits that page, it's not going to go on to the next page, and so it won't get stuff from above it, but it will. The pages below it, as long as you don't change them, they're still going to be the same. Joe just joined again. Brian just joined. What's up, Brian? J Toro says, do you know what I can for Yelp SEO? Can you clarify? Do you mean to like within Yelp itself, or how to rank a Yelp page in Google? Or can you clarify what you mean by that? No. Let's see if I missed any questions in any of the other groups. Doing this a little different today too. I usually do it from my Facebook page. Today I decided to go old school and just do it directly in the group. So probably not reaching as many people, although it seems like I am. So. Do you know what, let's see, within Yelp itself to get on the top ranks? I haven't done it. I remember Stephen Floyd talking about it years ago, that you can geotag your images and fill out everything, but I don't know. I would think that optimize your profile as well as you possibly can. Fill out use every image they let you use, write a nice long keyword rich description, title, and things like that. But I don't know if that may or may not work. I honestly avoid them like the plague. I build them as a citation because you kind of have to, because they're like the big one. But I hate their business model so much and the way they do things that I don't spend much time giving them effort. Yeah, man, you guys are asking good questions today. I was not prepared for some of these. Chip just joined. Carlos says top of Yelp, maybe. Yeah, I think that was referring to J Toro's question. Kel just joined. What's up, Kel? You see how dumb BeLive is that it says new version dropping on June 26th here on September 6th? Carlos says optimize the same way as GMB, but treated as a citation. Yeah, that's kind of what I figured. I don't really know much beyond that. Like I say, I avoid them when I can, but that's what makes sense. I mean, to some degree, I mean, it's not 100% accurate, but to some degree, a search engine is a search engine. There's certain things I think are going to factor regardless of the search engine. Henry just joined. What's up, Henry? Good turnout today. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, do we have any other questions? We can make this a short one if we want. I'm going to start plugging things too if I don't get any more questions, because it's almost like a reflex. Andrea just joined. What's up, Andrea? Good to see you. Irez says, ooh, I got one. He says, I have a client who's number one for, and I'm not going to read your keyword because, you know, a certain thing, another thing, et cetera, et cetera. We haven't got a form fill in a while. Usually get tons of them. I did install a CF7 contact form 7 spam blocker and X'd out keywords like Viagra, Propecia, HTTP, www, and so on. I ran Securi site check, filled out forms from my computer, phone, Search from different browsers, site operating 100%, everything checked out. Did I miss something? Protect a potential malicious bug I'm not accounting for. So it sounds to me like you're just not getting any form fills. I mean, if the traffic is still there and everything is working, I don't know what other variable there is to test, I mean, it sounds like what you're telling me is that you installed some spam blocker software and did all these other things and you're ranking. Are you still getting the same traffic? Let me know that. Are you still getting the same amount of traffic that you were before? Do you monitor that? If so, is that still there? Jessica says, why do you prefer WordPress sites over Wix or GoDaddy? WordPress gives you a lot more freedom to do things. It's more flexible. It's more powerful, and it doesn't control you like Wix and like the GoDaddy type site builders do. Also, they do a thing where they host the images on their CDN as opposed to on the site itself. And that kind of, I don't know if Wix does, but I know that, what's that other one? Squarespace does. And yeah, it gives you a lot more freedom and a lot more control. And once you get used to it, it's actually a lot easier to use too. At least it was for me. Wix felt like they were treating me like a baby, and they had to do everything for me, Also, also WordPress is free. Carlos says WordPress is way better for SEO. So does Joe. Carlos says, if you're having problems with building a website as easy as you can use a builder inside WordPress also. Yeah, exactly. You can use something like Elementor, which is what Adam likes. And there's, what else is there? There's Divi and WP Bakery, and lots of other visual builders. I'm not a big fan of those, but I get why they're useful. Erez says, well, I just checked the analytics and I must have accidentally removed them 28 days ago. Not sure how. Maybe it was a Fiverr guy, but the analytics is back, so we'll see what's up with the traffic. And I mean, if you're still ranking and it's hard to say without knowing if you're getting traffic, and you've tested like the functionality, and it's got to be something else. I don't know what to tell you. Orlando says, hello, Chris. Hey, Orlando, what's up, buddy? There's a politician here in England that looks like a cartoon character from a comic called The Beano. I Googled that character, Walty the Softy, and it seems his picture has been replaced with this by the politician. How is this done? I guess they probably just optimized. This is so funny to me. I apologize. I guess they probably just optimized that image really well. Like I did with that one video like a year and a half ago where I ranked myself for the most handsome man in South Carolina. They probably just overtook it that way. It was probably like they're only going to show one picture, and that's what they did. If you remember right, there was a president in the United States a few years back that was ranked number one who actually led to a Google algorithm change that was ranked number one in Google for, I want to say it was something like total disaster or something like that. I forget exactly what the term was, but it was something, utter failure. I don't know what it is. Most of you that are around back then probably know what I'm talking about, but yeah, they probably just optimized the image and just outranked him, I'm so Googling Walter the Softy right now, though. Oh my. I actually kind of see the resemblance too. Carlos says keywords inside the title and description of image, same concept, use geotag images for local ranking. Yeah, I mean, sometimes some are harder than others, but that's how I rank my images. Image SEO can be kind of fun, actually. Subhadeep just joined. What's up, buddy? Troy just joined. Hey, Troy, I haven't seen you in a while. How's it going? good turnout today. I'm very happy. I almost canceled this, but it's been a kind of a hectic week because we had what turned out to be a pretty wimpy hurricane yesterday, but we did have a hurricane yesterday. So that kind of put us a day behind, even though I worked, the same 12 to 14 hours I usually do. If you want to check out a webinar with myself and one of my SEO teachers, Stephen Floyd, who's going to be talking heavily about how reputation influences SEO, check out chrismwalker.io/reputation. Actually, can somebody do me a favor and drop that in the comments, chrismwalker.io/reputation. That's going to be on Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern. I'm really looking forward to that. And because, like I said, he's somebody that I learned from and I know what he's up to, and it's good stuff. So check that out. Jay Toro says, do we have any videos about image SEO on the Academy? I believe that Jeff has one or two in there, yeah. Ask in the Academy group and we'll try to find that for you, or just search in the Academy members area. I also have one on YouTube. If you look, I think it's like, let's see. I think I actually rank pretty well for this in YouTube, not so much in Google, but. Yeah, if you go to YouTube and search for how to rank in Google Images, I have a video on it there as well. How does Google know what pictures to highlight? By highlight, you mean rank or like feature, or I'm not sure what you mean by highlight. Joe dropped the GoToWebinar link, or not GoToWebinar. The Zoom link, Troy dropped it as well. Yeah, check that out. It's definitely going to be worth an hour of your time, Randy just joined and says he's late. That's okay. We always wait for you, Randy. Carlos says GeoInger is a tool for this. The pick optimization is on YouTube. Yeah, I have a video on there as well, and I think Jeff has some in the Academy. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at the one you're talking about now, Orlando. It looks like, well, it's actually showing up quite a bit for his name. I'm sure he loves that. But the number one is an image that's on the BBC website. So I'm guessing that they optimized the image and it's probably leeching BBC's authority as well. So that's probably why that particular one is ranking first. The second one is Wikipedia, and then there's a YouTube. I wonder if they copied my method. That's kind of funny. The one with the two of them next to each other is from YouTube. Whether I deserve it or not, I'm going to take credit for that. Troy says, tips for new local site after uploading 10K words of content and foundation links. I keep building out the brand, the social profiles, citations and things like that, assuming that you don't lost my train of thought. Assuming that you haven't already gotten all those done. From there, I would wait a little bit and give it a chance to, marinate for like a month or something. 10K words is a lot for a local site. I don't know how you manage that. But from there, and then you're just going to have to start with some strong links, Also try to optimize the on-site, like in accordance with what's already winning. So you can use a tool like audit.io, which I own, so you should buy, and figure out what the winning sites are already doing and kind of emulate that. So there's that, and then you can start with linking after that. 10K words. You must have a lot of blog posts or something, though. I can't imagine 10K words as a local site. And man, whenever the screen freezes, it gives me like the worst image. I'm gonna share this right now. I look like I'm getting punched in the stomach. Nah, it won't let me do it. Oh well. Now let's try it this way. There we go. So that's what I'm seeing. Troy says, yeah, lots of blog content. That makes sense. Troy says, I'll check out audit.io. That's audit with 2 I's because that's kind of like my trademark. Let's see. Orlando says, what's the reason Google gives snippets to certain sites? Often I Google things and sites with terrible information or not what I'm looking for seem to have a paragraph snippet at the top of page 1. Well, unfortunately, Google doesn't understand necessarily the answer. I know what you mean. I've seen bad information getting the featured snippet before. For example, and I don't know if this is still the case. Let's actually Google it and find out. But at one point, Moz was not the answer for what is domain authority, even though they invented the thing. Yeah, Wikipedia has it now, and it's changed quite a bit since the last time I looked at it. But Moz doesn't have any of the answers for what is domain authority, although they do have the #1 ranking. So, sorry, Randy just sent me a message that made me laugh. Let's see. So the reason is they've just, they found what Google wants for that particular question and given them what they want. It's not ideal, but ultimately Google is a computer. So, sorry. Carlos says, I've been successful lately with YouTube for local. Oh, that's cool. I used to do a lot of that. I don't anymore just because it's only so many hours in the day, but. All right, we are caught up on questions. Good session so far, guys. Definitely joined myself and one of my SEO teachers, Stephen Floyd, and I think that his, partner or I don't know what it is. The guy that does everything with him, Josh B. Craft will be on as well. I don't 100% know on that, but join us Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern at chrismwalker.io/reputation. It's going to be some great stuff. If somebody can drop that in the chat for me, I'd appreciate it. It's chrismwalker.io/reputation. Probably should have gotten a better URL. Jacob just joined. What's up, Jacob? All right. Do we have any more questions, or are we ready to call it a weekend? Really wanted to go learn to surf this week. That's a joke, but the joke is that I had a hurricane here. Guess if you have to explain the joke, it probably isn't a great one. All right, if I don't get some more questions in the next few minutes, we'll wrap it up. Drop that in the chat. Jitoro says I put the wrong link on a gig on Legiit. Any way to update it before it starts? Yeah, just shoot the seller a message and let them know that you made a mistake. And if they're worth their salt, they'll fix it for you. If it was me, we'll definitely take care of it for you. Georgie will get that just taken straight away. But yeah, just shoot them a message on the order. It's no big deal. Troy says you're killing it with the Facebook ads. Oh, thank you. It's a challenge. It is. It's a different skill set, but they've been pretty good to me lately. I actually enjoy those because I get to play with the numbers a little more than I do with SEO, but it also costs way more money. But thank you. Appreciate that. Some of the comments would not agree with you, but if you look at the negative comments on Sam Ovens ads, and then if you look at Sam Ovens' success, the two do not necessarily correlate. So I don't let it bother me. Jose just joined. What's up, Jose? Hopefully my video editor will be able to get that stupid BeLive logo out without getting rid of mine, but he may not be able to. Troy says, been seeing them everywhere. Thank you. Yeah, thanks. I try to target well. Hopefully it's something you find interesting. I'm going to change them up soon and try a different angle. Troy says negative comments mean they are doing good. Yeah, they don't bother me. The only ones that bother me is like when we run them for Legiit and people like drop their Fiverr link in the comments, I delete those. And I'll delete ones where there's a lot of like profanity. But other than that, I just, whatever, you know. Do you know anyone or anywhere I could find a financial calculator that I can put on a site? I can't find anything on Legiit. I'm going to tag Jim in that, and maybe he has a developer that can help you with that. But no, I don't know one off the top of my head. I've seen those before. I love sites that have those. Orlando says, what ads are you running? I haven't seen anything since last year. I mean, I run Legiit. We run a lot of ads for. We spent literally more in a month than I used to make in a year. We spend on them for Legiit. I run things for Superstar Academy. I run them for my consulting business. I ran them for the Scope Leads webinar I did. I'm going to be running them for the webinar I'm doing with Stephen Floyd. So literally anything. I don't know why, and this isn't a criticism of anybody, but I don't know why SEOs, and maybe it may be the same the other way around. I don't know why people limit themselves to one traffic source like that. I'm not saying you should be everywhere, but it's too big an audience to ignore, you know? And I enjoy it. In some ways I enjoy it more than SEO. Although, like I say, I don't enjoy it when the payment comes due. But yeah. Tips you've learned from social ads so far. The first one is to ignore what people comment on them. The second one is the trick is to manage the ROI. They give you tons of metrics that don't matter. Cost per click, things like that. So what you want is to get figure out how much a lead is worth to you, like over their lifetime. And that way, you know how much you can spend to acquire one. So for example, I can, with my, and I'm sure you guys have seen this ad, with my Google Maps ebook ad, I usually get leads for between $1.50 and $2. And over the course of their lifetime, they're worth about $2,000 to $3,000. So obviously it's worth me spending as much as I can on that ad. Now it takes a long time between that initial joining the funnel and then paying off. But that's kind of the main tip, is figuring out how much a lead is worth to you so you know how much to spend it. And once you get that formula cracked, then you can scale that up until the point that it breaks. And what I mean by that is like you can keep upping the ad spend as long up to that point and continue to get leads at that volume and at that cost. And it'll really, really pay off. And that's whatever type of business you're in. You know, if you're in like a consulting or client business, if you can figure that formula out, if you're doing e-commerce, you know, that one's even simpler. You know, I spend $5 to make a $10 sale. I made $5 profit, you know? So it's really just a formula. And once you get that formula down, everything else falls into place. Jim says, I've never had success with the plugins. I usually just build them when needed, depending on how complex. Oh, this is replying to Orlando. Gotcha. Troy says SEO plus retargeting Facebook ads equals dollars. Yes, sir. Carlos says, question, do you think AdWords is going to overrun organic SEO in the future? Do you offer PPC to SEO customers? I don't see how it can, because the search results are Google's product and the ads are their monetization channel. So if it got to the point where they weren't serving good results, people would stop Googling stuff and then the ads would go down. The ad revenue, I should say, would go down. That said, they definitely have increased. They're definitely trying to find the right balance between how much they can get away with, like as far as showing ads as opposed to organic results. And they definitely want as many opportunities to give them money as possible. But I don't think it'll totally overrun it, because the search results are still their product. And their number one revenue source by miles is still ad revenue. So I don't think it'll overrun it. Do I offer PPC to SEO customers? Very, very rarely. I'm not proficient enough at local PPC to really be offering it. excuse me, to really be offering it. I have a couple though where I help manage it for them, but generally if I get any of that kind of business, I refer it over to Craig Griffiths. Excuse me. Troy says, is there a certain frequency I should add PBN links to a new site? Not really. I like to build that foundation first and then, excuse me, and then slowly add PBNs. Like I'd like to start with an exact match and maybe one or two others, and then just keep adding them until I get where I want. I wouldn't blast it with 20 or 30 all at once, but at the same time, you don't have to be as cautious as some people think you do as far as link velocity, because even 100 links is a big drop in, a small drop in a big ocean. So there's never any hard and fast number for anything in SEO, but I would do more than 10 in a month, and that's probably pushing it. J Toro says, Facebook or Instagram more effective for you? I like Facebook much better. Instagram is just not my bag of whatever at all. My cup of tea. I don't get it. I do it. Like some of the campaigns I do for Facebook also are on Instagram because it's like just another checkbox. But no, I don't do much with Instagram. Orlando says, thanks for that. Okay. Carlos says it all depends on the niche, where the attention of your customers and advertise, position yourself there. Yeah, I mean, I guess if I was doing like e-commerce, especially something visual, like, I don't know, clothing, then Instagram would probably be a better fit. But yeah, overall, I like Facebook better. Maybe it's because I'm old and Facebook is definitely the the social platform for older people, but it's still my favorite. And it's still the one I like understand the most and so on. And Instagram, I just don't get it all. Like, I have an Instagram manager and yeah, it's not my thing. You definitely check out that. I'm sounding like a broken record, but it's something I'm really looking forward to because, like I said, Steven is somebody that I learned from, and I'm very flattered and very excited to hang out with him for a couple of hours on Tuesday afternoon at chrismwalker.io/reputation. I also know what he's going to be talking about, so I'm looking forward to that as well. You need to shave. Somebody says, and I can't see it on Facebook, but I see it in BeLive, which I'll be using for the final time today because they made me mad. Let me see if I can find it. All right. Max says, can you just discuss GSA link blast for citations? How many anchors, etc.? Sometimes I do one. It doesn't seem to work as well as it used to. But you can do a GSA blast of like 10,000 links and go pretty light on the keyword anchors and then just do the rank. Excuse me. Excuse me, 1 second. And then just do the generics and URLs and brands and stuff. I think you do like 10% keyword and then divide the rest between those. That said, I find it somewhat effective, but not like it was in like 2016. Carlos says Instagram is the devil, old people talking. I don't think it's the devil by any means. I just don't get it. Like I'm not saying I don't get it. It's just not for me, Rob just joined. What's up, Rob? Orlando says, do you sell marketing funnels to your clients, Chris? I have one client that I do that for. It's not something, it's actually something I would like to do more of, but a lot of that is visual and I'm not good at the visual stuff. So I guess I could bring someone on and we could start offering that more. But no, it's not a business model I've ever focused on. As far as client SEO or client agency stuff, I've mostly focused on SEO and consulting. So I don't offer a ton of that stuff. There've been like, once I have a long relationship with someone, like a client, and they want something else done, I don't mind doing it, but I don't want to be a jack of all trades. I'm already a bit too much of that as it is, Got about 10 minutes left, which is good because my voice is shot. Alan just joined. What's up, Alan? Good turnout today. Very happy about that. Do you think rank and rent is still a good business model? It was never my favorite because you have to do all the work up front, but yeah, it still works. I mean, you're still ranking a site, a local site, and it's easy enough to sell. I'm actually starting to do a bit of lead gen business in the agency though, so we may be scaling that. The problem I've always had with rank and rent is that if you do the plugin method or like the iframe CSS thing, those softwares tend to break so often that I never liked it. I also didn't find it as easy a sale as a lot of people say it is. And what I mean by that is people act like what you do is you rank the site number one and then you lightbox their site over it and you call them and say, look, you're number one. Would you like to stay there? I found that people didn't understand it as well as they could. Maybe I just didn't have a good pitch down because obviously it can be done, but it's not my favorite, but it's still a good business model. Carlos says, local lead gen, what method? I have a bunch of, for a while I got interested in building local lead gen sites and then just selling the calls. And then I just kind of never did it. And then the sites just kind of started ranking because I just left them. So I'm thinking now that I have a bigger team that I can I might as well monetize those. So that's probably something we're going to start doing. And then I also am keen to get in on call only Google ads. I think that there's a good opportunity there too. I picked up, I haven't had a chance to really go through it all that much, but I picked up Chris Winter's course on that to see if that's something that we can add as well. I think that, not to get political, but I think with the possibility of a recession, I think that local lead gen is a good business model to be in because that's something that businesses are going to need in that time. So if you can generate leads, I think that's a great business to be in. So I just want to have another thing to keep everybody busy and to add another low maintenance revenue stream. Carlos says that's the business model he wants to try, sell the lead itself. I think that's what we're going to do too. And I think maybe, like I said, maybe it's just I never understood the pitch properly, but to me, I think that people understand that better than they do with rank and rent, I think that, people understand that their phone ringing is a good thing. People don't necessarily understand I can transform this site that I ranked into your site, and then maybe you'll get some calls, I think that a few free calls is good bait too. So I don't know. To me, it's a more logical business model. And I think that it's recession proof too. So I always try to look, part of my job as the CEO, and I don't mean to say that to pump myself up, but is to see around the corner, and that's kind of one of the things I've been thinking about lately. So Jim says, if there is a recession, can people easily make extra money selling services online as a freelancer? Absolutely. In fact, my thought there is that will actually, that if there were a recession or something like that, that industry would grow because people would not want to hire a full-time employee as much as they would want to get, I just need this piece or this piece or this piece, if instead of hiring a marketing employee, they might get someone to build a funnel for them or to do their SEO, content, or to do their PPC or whatever individual piece that they need, as opposed to hiring a full-time employee. I think that freelancing will take off. And I think that freelancing, especially marketplace freelancing, and that's one of the reasons Legiit exists, has a big future because I feel like this generation really understands it a lot better. And that's kind of where their brain goes when they need something. So absolutely. I think it's not only recession proof. I think that they'll do better in a recession, maybe not necessarily better, but I think they have an advantage. Carlos says they want results fast and don't want to hear about SEO sometimes, especially old companies not used to digital marketing. Yeah, exactly. People don't, even if they on some level understand that showing up at the top of Google is important, they absolutely understand that their telephone ringing is important. One thing I used to sell, and it's funny, it's kind of only slightly related, but one way I used to sell SEO was to use the analogy that back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, the ancient times, the way that businesses got found was in the yellow pages, the actual physical phone book yellow pages. And that's why so many businesses would name themselves AAAA1 lawn mowing or something. So they would show up at the top of the phone book. Well, today, Google is the phone book, and the way to show up at the top of Google is SEO. And that analogy used to work really well for me. So I don't really know where I was going with that, but I guess that analogy worked well on old companies. But again, that even kind of reinforces that they understand making the telephone ring, you know? I got to quit saying, you know, I criticized somebody else for that, whose presentation I was watching earlier, and now, bam, I'm saying it myself. Jim says, do you think there's value in leveraging multiple freelancers for individual specialized tasks rather than hiring a full-time employee and hoping they're good in multiple key areas, a jack of all trades, so to speak? Absolutely. Like, I mean, that's kind of almost my entire business model, at least for a long time. I'm very big on getting people that have expertise to use their expertise to do that thing. And it's just it's not fair, really, to expect an employee to be good at email marketing, funnel building, SEO, blogging, social media, all these things, when you can kind of take, like, I hope this isn't insensitive, but you can go to like a Chinese menu where you want one of those and one of those and one of those, and pull that all into from a marketplace that lets you put everything into one shopping cart and pay for it all at once, from people that are good at this, this, and this, as opposed to one person that's kind of good at all of them. So absolutely. Yeah, that's a great question. Carlos says, what is Yellow Page? Yeah, right. Unfortunately, I still get those like put on my doorstep a couple times a year, whether I want to or not. So unfortunately, it's still a thing. I can't imagine the money that's wasted and the damage that's done to the environment by them forcing this stupid phone book that nobody uses on us still. But I don't want to get off on that rant. Next week, I'm going to do my level best to get a guest on. I haven't figured out who yet, but the good thing about having guests on is I don't have to do as much. So it's that, and you know, it helps to bring in better information. That's the real reason, or not better, but different perspectives. So Matt says, I hate to keep harping on this, but is there a proven way to know how to rank a company's citations if not GSA blessed? Sure. What I like to do, and then, first of all, never apologize for asking a question. If you don't have your answer and you can't figure it out on your own, that's the whole point of asking questions. So, and plus, this is called Ask Me Anything. So ask me anything. Now that that's out of the way, I optimize it like I would any other page, like on a website, whether it's a blog post or a page or whatever. The keyword in the title and in the URL and in the content, as much as those particular citations will let you. Excuse me 1 second. My voice is out of practice. Anyhow, optimize those as well as you possibly can. The ones that allow you to do actually an embed, and there aren't that many, but the ones that do an embed, and then hit them with an exact match anchor PBN. That works really well for me. Back in the day, I used to do that with Yelp. So just treat them like you would any other web page, except the fact that they have some domain authority, and I don't mean the Moz metric domain authority, just authority in the domain, will make them rank even better. That's why Yelp ranks for so many things as it is. So optimize it like you would anything else, like a web page, blog post, anything. And then hit it with a good exact match, high quality link. And oftentimes that will rank all on its own. I'm actually kind of curious why that's something you're so interested in, though. And I'm not criticizing, I'm genuinely interested. So is that something you're is that part of like your page one domination strategy? Or why is that something that you're into? Because maybe I could learn something here too, you know? Guys, we're almost out of time. If you have any last minute questions, let me know. And before you do that, if somebody could drop that link in the chat for me one more time, chrisandwalker.io/reputation. Give me some fire stuff from my good friend, Stephen Floyd, who is someone that I've learned a lot in SEO from. He's one of the nicest guys in SEO too, in my opinion, other than myself, of course. And what he's going to be talking about, I think, is really like going to be a big part of the future of SEO, and I'm really excited to do it. I'm trying not to mark out, as the wrestling fans say, but yeah. Carlos says map embeds are still as powerful. No, I mean, they still are helpful, but it used to be you could do like thousands of those and stick schema and all this other stuff in them, and it was redonkulously powerful. They still help, but they're not like the world breaker that they used to be. See, that was the World of Warcraft reference. +1 nerd points there. Scar of the Worldbreaker was one of the main quests in World of Warcraft, I believe. Yeah, thank you for that, Jim. What was that page you own for audits? I own a software called audit.io. I'll drop that in the chat as well. It's like an on-page competition analysis tool that I haven't really started pushing yet, but I'm getting pretty close to doing it. That double I thing is kind of I was going to say my reputation. It's kind of like my signature now. So check that out as you have time. Haven't gone full public with it, but I'm still very happy with it. Carlos says, thank you. Thank you. We've had some great questions today, and you've been helpful in answering others, so I definitely appreciate that. All right, ladies, gentlemen, and Jim, I think we'll go ahead and wrap this up now. One more time, check out chrissimwalker.io/reputation for just an awesome training I'm looking forward to doing with Stephen Floyd this Tuesday, September 10th at 2 p.m. Eastern. It's just sign up for it, sign up, check it out, and enjoy it. We'll be back next week. I'll try to get a guest lined up. I don't know who yet. I haven't talked to anybody, but I think that'll be fun. Carlos says, later, nerds. Anybody else hear that in Homer Simpson's voice? Anyway, thanks for hanging out. I know it's the end of the week. Everybody, if you have any other questions, drop them in the Facebook group, superstarseo.group. Enough rambling. See you next time. Thanks for showing up.